So 2024, Helldivers 2 was actually a massive game. I played a lot of Helldivers 2 when it first came out, and it kind of fizzled out for me, but I know that there's a lot of people out there that still want to play it, or actually still do play it. So let's talk about this, because I think it's kind of interesting. Helldivers 2 Xbox petition passes major milestone. This is one thing that I think is very unfavorable when you're talking about exclusives. When it comes to consoles, period. I know Helldivers 2 is on the PC. It's not on the Xbox. Now, a lot of Xbox titles are coming to the PlayStation and Nintendo Switch. Anyways, let's continue on. The number of Xbox fans petitioning to play Helldivers 2 seems to steadily be growing over a year after the game's release. Helldivers 2 came out early last year as PlayStation console exclusive and quickly became one of the biggest, most talked about games of 2024. It definitely was. It was a lot of fun, especially when it first came out. The multiplayer co-op shooter went on to win 2 game awards for best ongoing game and best multiplayer game, 4 DICE awards, 4 Golden Joystick awards, and several high-profile Game of the Year nominations. Kind of disappoints me they didn't win Game of the Year. Helldivers 2 remains as a must-play for fans of multiplayer games on the PlayStation. Absolutely. It's a ton of fun. And then on top of that, the one thing that a lot of people definitely overlook when it comes to this game is the fact that it's not $70. It's not even $60. It's a $40 game. I equate it to like movies. If I'm going to go see a movie, I'm spending what, $15 for 2 hours? So if I'm going to spend, let's say, $60, I want it to at least give me what, 2, 4, 6, 8, about 8 hours worth of gameplay. Now, I definitely got way more than 8 hours worth of gameplay when it came to Helldivers 2. It would make sense to say that Helldivers 2 was a rare Sony multiplayer hit. Most of Sony's first-party studios have largely been focused on single-player titles for the most of the past decade plus, which is 100% true because a lot of Sony's games, Last of Us, Spider-Man, God of War, amazing titles, but they're single player experiences. And there's nothing wrong with a single player experience game, especially if it's, thought provoking or if it provokes emotions like The Last of Us does. It's amazing. Xbox has historically been a bigger multiplayer centric platform with franchises like Halo, Gears of War, Sea of Thieves, and now Call of Duty. That's 100% true. And I think a lot of that is contributed to the fact that they had Xbox Live. And that was a major focal point for Microsoft and Xbox, for that matter, when it first came out. Because I'm telling you guys right now, it blew my mind when I was, 10. I think I was like 12, 13 years old, seeing an Xbox connect to Xbox Live and playing with people from Florida, California, freaking all over the world. Just mind blowing to me. That's why I think they pushed heavily on Halo, Gears of War, and those ones to be exact. With that in mind, Helldivers 2 is breakout hit with a surprise to many and led to a large swath of Xbox fans hoping to see the game come to Xbox Series X and S at some point down the line. I highly doubt it, only because it is a selling point for Sony, I guess you could say, or pushing people to a PC so that people are buying an Xbox. Anyways, shortly after Helldivers 2's release, Xbox fans created a Change.org petition with the hopes of persuading Sony to port the game over to the Xbox. The petition garnered around 25,000 signatures around the time of its first created last February, but that number has grown in the years since to 133,575 signatures. While the petition doesn't have the power to force Sony to port Helldivers to the Xbox, the point of it all is to show PlayStation just how desirable the game is on rival platforms. And I don't think it would be fair if they did port it over and they did increase the price, but I could potentially see them doing that. With that being said, it's kind of like how Microsoft and Xbox, for that matter, has Game Pass, and they don't offer Game Pass on the PlayStation, on the Nintendo Switch. They only offer it on the Xbox and the PC, obviously. So, with that being said, the library that you get offered when it comes to those things is significantly better when it comes to Xbox because you can get Game Pass, you can get those Activision Blizzard titles, and so on and so forth. You don't get that when it comes to PlayStation. If you're going to buy an Xbox or a Microsoft Studios game, you got to pay full price. The question of whether Helldivers 2 will ever make it to the Xbox console is a difficult one. Over the past year, Xbox has been opening the floodgates, allowing a number of high-profile first-party games to appear on the PlayStation platform. And that's because Sony won the, console war. Microsoft lost, and it's them kind of waving the white flag and then getting that bag. The movement started small with titles like Sea of Thieves and Hi-Fi Rush. That I'm going to argue with because Sea of Thieves is a much, much larger title than what this article is leading on to because, it came out, 8 years ago? I'd say 7 years ago, something like that. And it still has a ridiculous fan base. Me, I'm not a fan. I think Sea of Thieves is a garbage game. But there's a lot of people out there that love Sea of Thieves. Then got bigger with Indiana Jones and the Great Circle and Forza Horizon 5. Forza Horizon 5, major title. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, I wouldn't say it's a major title. I'd say it's more of a major intellectual property that that Microsoft had to spend a lot of money to be able to use. So that's why they're doing it. They got to get that bag. Some of the Xbox biggest 2025 games like Doom, The Dark Ages, and The Outer Worlds 2 are confirmed to be multi-platform releases at launch, and there are even rumors of Halo and the much speculated Gears of War collection going to the PlayStation as well. The bigger thing here, the takeaway from this sentence, is Gears of War and Halo. Because those have always been exclusives when it comes to Xbox, recently coming to the PC, and then eventually coming over to the PlayStation. Doom the Dark Ages and the Outer Worlds 2, not so much. Why? Because those were properties Bethesda had before Microsoft acquired them. I mean, they would be major driving points, selling points for the Xbox, but nothing of real substance like Gears of War and Halo are. Whether the PlayStation follows Xbox lead in this regard remains to be seen, but many doubt PlayStation would ever start showering Xbox with its first-party exclusives. However, out of PlayStation's entire first-party portfolio, Helldivers 2 seems most reasonable fit, which it absolutely does. Why don't they do what Microsoft did and let it run its course on its own console and then basically breathing new life into the game by allowing it to come to other platforms? Just saying. If Helldivers 2 really were to be brought over to the Xbox console, the announcement would likely come at a big showcase or event, like perhaps the Xbox Showcase or Summer Game Fest. It would probably definitely be Summer Game Fest. I don't foresee Sony being like, hey, Microsoft, let us on your stage. Even though it would probably overshadow a lot of the stuff that Microsoft and Xbox is trying to do. If they did it at the Xbox Showcase, it would most definitely be at the Summer Games Fest or a video game award show. Xbox gamers who want Helldivers 2 on the platform should join in on the growing Change.org petition, as while it can't force PlayStation to do anything, a larger signature numbers means more potential sales for Sony. I mean, 133,000 is a lot of sales. I'm just saying that. Let's go full screen. I want to hear your thoughts. Are you on board with all this, sharing of first-party games? Are you not? Because me personally, I think when it comes to console exclusives, they're terrible for the consumer. They're really good for the companies. It forces you to go out and get an Xbox if the game is a console exclusive, which It definitely isn't, because they're bringing everything to the PC, and now they're showing they're bringing stuff to the PlayStation, where if you want to play the newest, Last of Us, the newest God of War, you have to go out and buy a PlayStation. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Because you never know. Maybe like 3, 4, 5 years down the road, they might bring it to the PC. But that's not a guarantee. Anyways, you guys, don't forget to mash that like button, subscribe. Every little bit helps out the channel immensely. Thank you so much for coming in, hanging out. It really does mean a lot to me. You guys are awesome. Keep doing what you're doing, and I'll see you tomorrow.